उसको बोलो यहाँ से कॉरिडोर में कोई नहीं भटकेगा बेटा, ये वाला खाली कर दो, यहाँ से हट जाओ।
I believe everyone's mobile phone is on silent mode. Okay, sit straight. Good morning to one and all present here. Good morning to all the esteemed dignitaries, respected family, respected faculty members, distinguished speakers, dear students, and the guests. It's an absolute honor to welcome you all to the today's session of our international conference on global perspective, fostering entrepreneurship, inclusion, and innovation for sustainable futures. This conference is a collaborative effort of Delhi Metropolitan Education, Vivekanand College, University of Delhi, and the College of Business, University of Burami, Oman. We have had an enriching journey in the past session, which has happened on the day one of the conference yesterday, delving into a very key discussions on sustainability and innovation. And as we move towards the culmination of this remarkable event, today's session promises to be as insightful and engaging. Today's session is likely to focus on entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, everyone, it's not just creating a business, it's always about creating a better future. As there's a very famous quote by Richard Branson, he once said that business opportunities are always like buses. There is always another one coming. So here we have that thought in mind, and we are going to start with our session on the same concept of entrepreneurship. So with that thought in mind, let's begin that proceedings. Now, can we have a huge round of applause for all our dignitaries and guests of honor? Now, to kickstart the event and to set the tone for today's session, we have an enlightening talk on entrepreneurship and inclusion by an eminent academician, Professor Arvind Kumar. He is a former dean of Atal Bihari Vajpayee School of Management and Entrepreneurship, Jawaharlal Nehru University. Professor Dr. Arvind Kumar is the former dean with over 25 years of experience in academia and industry. He is a certified entrepreneur educator from Stanford University, USA, and recipient of a Bost doctoral fellowship in the USA. His research interests include CSR, academia industry interface, consumer affairs, and social entrepreneurship. Here, he has numerous publications in reputed national and international journals. I would like to invite Professor Arvind Kumar to be on the stage for his talk.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much for your kind words. Very good morning to all of you. Professor Neera Agnemitra, Chairperson, Vivekananda College. Professor Pinky Maurya, Principal, Vivekananda College. Mr. Vipin Sahani, Chairman, DME. Mrs. Krishna Kiran Sahani, Chairperson, DME. Professor Ravi Kam Swami, Director, DME. Dr. Sayyid Yunus Sahab, Vice Chancellor, University of Burami. Dr. Abdullah Sayyid Al-Kawani, Dr. Ibrahim Rasid Al-Samsi Sahab, Dean College of Business. Honorable Justice Bhavar Singh DG DME. Dr. Saab, my very close friend, Dr. Saad Ahmed Khan Sahab. Conference conveners, Professor Sani Gautamji, Dr. Safak Kajarin Sahiba, Dr. Stuti Jain, Dr. Seema Mat Jain, and the entire organizing committee, dear participants and students. Today was the inaugural of today's international conference on fostering global perspectives, entrepreneurship, inclusion, and innovation for sustainable futures. So I was very impressed when the title of the international conference was on global perspective. The reason was because if you look at the kind of partners involved in this conference. So one college, Vivekananda College from University of Delhi, DME, which is DME Management School, then College of Business, University of Delhi. So if you look at the kind of collaboration, so truly is justifying global perspective. And I was very impressed when I was interacting in the morning. Each cell of institution, both institution, Vivekananda College and DME were also involved. So this is truly a global perspective, and I was also interacting with budding entrepreneurs from Amman. And so you can simply think that this is a global international conference. And I was also very impressed the kind of involvement, kind of collaboration this conference has. I've been reminded the words of Vivekananda because one of the pioneering institution, collaborative institution is Vivekananda College. So Vivekananda has said in World Parliament of Religious in Chicago 1983, I quote, "Arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is achieved." Our Honorable Prime Minister has invoked the nation for the Viksit Bharat by 2047. So I strongly believe that all three institutions are also going to invoke India for Viksit Bharat by 2047. Coming back to the theme that is the theme of conference, which is fostering global perspective, entrepreneurship, inclusion, and innovation for sustainable futures. What else you require? I think from you had a great learning from yesterday, and today we also, after my talk, you will also have a panel discussion that will focus on various aspects of entrepreneurship. And a lot of TEDx speakers is also there. They will also motivate how a young college going student can become an entrepreneur. When I came in the morning, so I have been reminded a classroom setting. I come from Jawaharlal Nehru University, so generally students don't turn up for the morning class. If you have a class by 9 o'clock in the morning, because they woke up by, say, they go to the bed around 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning. So you don't find the students in the very first class. और जब कभी आप क्लास में उनको पढ़ा रहे होते हो तो कुछ बच्चे सो भी जाते हैं. तो मुझे लगा when everybody is awakened in this room, so I thought all together very vibrant and awakened students, all awakened students of DME and Vivekananda College. So I have been reminded one of the incident of मुझे लगा कि अब सारे लोग अवेकन हो गए हैं and somehow the national anthem was also played. So all due respect to the national anthem, it cannot be done. But coming back to the incident that I was referring, so basically एक क्लास में कुछ सुबह की ऐसी क्लास थी और प्रोफेसर साहब was taking a class. कुछ बच्चे सो गए. प्रोफेसर साहब ने एक बच्चे से कहा कि ये बच्चा सो गया है, तो आप उसको जगा दीजिए. Then the student refused. Professor asked, why you are not moving my directions? So he said, the student said, कि साहब आपके लेक्चर की वजह से सोया है, आपकी जगह है. I hope this is not the case when I am starting my talk. Coming back to the serious discussion, so Vivekananda has given a thought on Arise. So I thought Arise could be artificial intelligence, R could be resilience, I could be innovative business transformations, S could be sustainability, and E, of course, entrepreneurial mindset. And I also learned that this conference is in hybrid mode, and it has a lot of collaborations. I already named the three premier institutions, national institution, global institution have already collaborated for the cause. When it comes to the artificial intelligence and robotics, so tomorrow the future landscape is going to be changed just because of the technology. In the morning, I was interacting with HR faculty, so we were discussing about what is going to be the future of human resource or manpower. Then we were all concerned about tomorrow we are going to be compete with robotics. So robotics, artificial intelligence is definitely going to be the challenge. Digital transformation, employment issues, automation, social anxiety, these are all going to be the future challenges for the global workforce. And we will also nowadays, a lot of people are talking about artificial intelligence. Every day, people are talking about advantages of artificial intelligence. Being a professor of HR, I strongly believe in augmented intelligence. There is no substitute of human intelligence. एक कहा तो ये जाता है एवरीबॉडी इज कैरिंग स्मार्टफोन कि फोन ज्यादा स्मार्ट हो गया है बनस्पत द पर्सन हु इज कैरिंग द फोन so I believe that we must focus on augmented intelligence not solely on artificial intelligence. Then coming to the resilience, so we have to have managing inclusiveness and diversity, very important part. So if you go back to the history, why we have been ruled by the other people, be it Britishers or be it some other people, just because of inclusiveness. Now, if you look at the global workforce, if you look at the dynamics of future workforce, so we have to have diversity. We should also celebrate the inclusiveness. If each and everyone in the organization is contributing for the growth of organization, definitely the productivity of that organization is going to be very, very high. Employee engagement. So these are a few issues on account of resilience. When it comes to the innovative business transformation, so we have to really think of this disruptive technologies and we have to integrate and digitalize. I come from Jawaharlal Nehru University, so we at Jawaharlal Nehru University operate on e-offices. So if you look at the conventional model of operating the papers, moving physical file, green sheets, so we have e-offices supported by NIC. So that also gives a lot of transparency. I can see the movement. So 10 days back, I moved the proposal of a conference on corporate social responsibility. So I can see the movement, whether the file is lying with the finance department or the file is lying with the competent authority of my university. So technology at times will give you a lot of transparency. You can see the movement and you can also see the remark. And when it comes to the storing of data, storing of file, you can have multiple copy of the document and you can store n number of places if you are comparing the physical copies of files. So I believe that every organization must have innovative business transformation. Industry 5.0 is buzzword, blockchain, crypto. So we have to really look at the idea of innovation from cross-sector, cross-culture, and cross-discipline. NEP 2020 is also in place that also talks about multidisciplinary research, transdisciplinary research, interdisciplinary research, intradisciplinary research. So, because the majority of the students, so I will try to simplify the term. So basically, if a student want to study chemistry along with the history, so that can be done. Earlier, it was not possible. So I think the system of transdisciplinary, multidisciplinary is also taking a very high speed in country like ours. Now, very quickly, I want to discuss about the idea of sustainability. So we have sustainable development goals. 17 goals have been identified by the United Nations, and some of them are poverty, hunger, health, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable clean energy, decent work, industry innovation, infrastructure, reducing the inequality. So when you really look at the idea of inclusion, if you are practicing inequality, so I think you are defeating the purpose of inclusion. India is a very diversified nation. So we have inequality on account of caste, color, creed, region. Reason is also very, very important in deciding factors so far the inequalities are concerned. So we have to go away with it. If we really want to be the developed nation by 2047, so we have to really work on inclusion and we must celebrate the diversity, the kind of diversity that we have in our country. And sustainable development goals also focus on peace, justice, and partnership for the goals. When we really look at the narrative of developed nations versus developing nations and underdeveloped nations, so those who were closely following the narratives, the summits for be it Paris summit or other summits, so because we have a global agenda like climate change, global warming, so a lot of summits are coming. And if you really and very seriously follow the discussion, so developed nations are imposing a lot of restriction to the developing economies. They are also imposing a lot of restrictions to underdeveloped economies. But these developed nations, one point in time, they exploited nature like anything. Then they become developed nation. I have been to United States of America for my postdoc. I completed my postdoc from Ohio State. So I was interacting with few Americans. तो अमेरिका में आप देखेंगे जो इलेक्ट्रिक पोल्स हैं तो लकड़ी के पोल्स they are using. So I guess just because of being a very aware citizen, I asked them why you are using that wood pole for electric purpose. So they said, so then I asked a simple question: don't you think it's affecting the ecological system of the nation? Then they said it's hardly affecting us because we borrow these goods from South Africa. So look at the answer that they have given. They are least bothered about the other nations. But we at our country, we believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So we believe that entire planet is a kutum, entire planet is like a family. So we are not like a so-called some developed nation. Even we also witnessed during COVID-19 the kind of system that we developed to address pandemic like COVID-19. We also catered our health services to rest of the nations. So I've been reminded one of the Urdu couplet when you really look at the Paris summit, the narrative of Paris summit. So it goes like that. चमन को सींचने में पत्तियां कुछ झड़ गई होंगी, चमन को सींचने में पत्तियां कुछ झड़ गई होंगी, यही इल्जाम हम पर लग रहा था बेवफाई का, मगर कलियों को जिसने रौंदा पैरों तले, वही दावा कर रहे थे चमन की रहनुमाई का. Because in the context how developed nations versus developing economies versus underdeveloped developing economies are concerned. So I believe that India wants to go for sustainable agriculture. We have zero budget natural farming, urban sustainability. So one of the best examples that we have Infosys Green Building based at Hyderabad. And when we really talk about the sustainability, next panel, which is very, very eminent speakers, I was overhearing the conversation in an informal setup, that you will have an expert who will speak about the sustainable entrepreneurship aspect. And we have to think about sustainability from the lenses of environmental sustainability, social sustainability, and economic sustainability. I come to the next important part. I don't want to come between you and the expert panel, esteemed panel. So maybe in next 5 minutes, I will wind up. I come from School of Management and Entrepreneurship. So we also focus on entrepreneurship. And in the morning, I was very amazed to see the budding entrepreneurs from Amar. So I was very, very happy to see the budding entrepreneurs. So very briefly, I want to share with all of you the kind of ecosystem that we have for entrepreneurship in our country. So we have 1,17,254 registered startups. So that sounds in volume that India is all set for good ecosystem for entrepreneurship. We are fairly doing good in terms of ease of doing business. Atal Innovation Mission and Incubation Centers are there. I think those who are visiting Delhi or India first time, so I want to share with them that almost every state has Atal Innovation Mission. One ministry has been created by the Union Government of India, which is skill development and entrepreneurship. We are based at your institution, based at Sector 62 Noida. So there is also premier institution called NISBERT. NISBERT is National Institute of Entrepreneurship and Small Business Development. Very premier institution which are doing a great service to the nation for helping the common people to become entrepreneurs. They are helping the women entrepreneurs. They are also helping people from the marginalized section. I've been reminded one story of Kalpana Saros. Kalpana Saros come up from a very marginalized section of the society. She was married at a very early stage of her life. Then she went on through a traumatic married life, but somehow she decided to have her own venture. Now Kalpana Saroj is running almost 3,000 crore organization, and she has been conferred Padam Shri by Government of India. So we can always get inspiration from either Kalpana Saroj, we can get inspiration from Sudha Narayan Murthy. There is a whole range of entrepreneurs which can also inspire you. And I hope in next panel you will also have interaction with very promising entrepreneurs of our country. But one thing that I want to say here, nothing wrong with celebrating successful entrepreneurs. But I think one can always look into the failure entrepreneurs. Most of the time we are ignore people who failed in their ventures. So I think they can tell you. That also gives me an idea. My university there, the UPSC strike rate is one of the best in entire country. तो जिनका यूपीएससी में नहीं होता, जो कभी आईएएस नहीं होते, वो आईएएस को पढ़ा रहे होते हैं. जिनका आईआईटी में नहीं होता, वो आईआईटीएंस प्रोड्यूस कर रहे होते हैं. जिनका मेडिकल में नहीं होता, वो मेडिकल के बच्चे प्रिपेयर कर रहे होते हैं. The point that I'm trying to make is we can always have a lesson, we can always learn from the failure of entrepreneurs. Coming back to the some of the statistics that I want to share before the August gathering. So there is an indicator called total entrepreneurship activity, T. Brief mein abbreviation is TEA. So if you look at 2017 and 18 to last year, so there is a very significant growth from 9.4% to 14.4%. There is also data which speaks nascent entrepreneurship from 4.9% to 7.2%. New business ownership 4.4% to 7.1%. Established entrepreneurship rate 6.2% to 8.5%. So when we say that India is all set for entrepreneurial ecosystem, so I'm not saying this data comes from EDI. Again, a very premier institution based in Ahmedabad. So that report, that research says that India is all set for a very sound ecosystem for entrepreneurship. But there is also a flip side. They also conducted survey among the youth like you. So 83% people feel there is a good opportunity to become an entrepreneur. But 54% people feel there is a fear of failure. So in the few minutes back, I also talked about we can always learn from our mistake. We can always learn from others' mistake. But when it comes to the mindset of entrepreneurs among the youth, so this is something which disturbs me. So 54% youth of our country feel there is a fear of failure. What if मेरी कंपनी नहीं चली तो क्या होगा, मेरा प्रोडक्ट नहीं बिका तो क्या होगा. तो ये जो fear है, we have to really come out of this fear. So I think a lot of TEDx speakers will talk about that, how one can become a successful entrepreneur. और मुझे लगता है कि I should not take much time because we are eagerly waiting for very eminent panel of speakers. But before I move, so I really want to share two important things that we can always create a Section 8 companies. We at Jawaharlal Nehru University, my students from MBA program, so they are into creating a Section 8 companies. Almost we create Section 8 companies. It's a joint effort by the faculty members. It's a joint effort by the faculty members and the students. Student initiate Section 8 companies. Faculty sit as a director. I happen to be at KIT Bhubaneswar. So they also have a very amazing ecosystem for creating Section 8 companies. So I hope when you have again one conference, I also learned that e-summit will be organized at Vivekananda College tomorrow. So next year, next edition, so we can also have few Section 8 companies from all three institutions. So I think that would be a great success. And today is a very, very historic day in the sense that we are discussing about a very important idea of entrepreneurship. And to that, we are discussing about the global perspective. And tomorrow is obviously the Valentine's Day. So it could be very popular among youths. So many congratulations for that day. I can see the smiling face there. But coming back to the serious message that I want to give, today is historic day in the sense we are discussing on a very serious issue that will decide about the trajectory of Viksit Bharat 2047. And I'm very sure that each one of you contribute for Viksit Bharat 2047. So I've been reminded one of the Urdu couplet, then I'll stop, and it goes like, आके इन तारीखियों से सुर्खियां पैदा करें, आके इन तारीखियों से सुर्खियां पैदा करें, इस जमी की बस्तियों से आसमां पैदा करें. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable insights on entrepreneurship. Now I request Dr. Ravikant Swami, Director of TME, and Dr. Shad Ahmed Khan, Chair of Business Administration, University of Burami, Oman, to facilitate Professor Arvind Kumar. Can we have a round of applause?
And I also invite everyone to come at Jawaharlal Nehru University. I hope you will like the flora and fauna. We have a very lush green campus, well-maintained campus, and whenever you are going to that side, please do the web. I'll take your leave. Thank you very much.
Okay, everyone. So after those insights, now we are going to move to an exciting panel discussion on ecopreneurship, how sustainability drives business success. As you all know, sustainability and business go hand in hand in today's world. And today, we have a stellar panel of we have esteemed panelists. The first one, Mr. Vaibhav Jaiswal. He is the co-founder of Prakriti, Cultivating Green and Entrepreneurs, which is revolutionizing the sustainability through eco-friendly alternatives. His entrepreneurial journey has empowered rural communities while promoting environmental responsibility. Another person here we have Mr. Paras Arora. He is the co-founder and CEO of 3R Management, a pioneer in circular economy and waste management solutions. His work focuses on sustainable innovation and environmental entrepreneurship. Another person, here we have Ms. Prerna Prasad. She is the founder of EcoPlore, India's largest aggregator platform for sustainable hotels. She is also the curator of One Bhoj, a private sustainability museum in Delhi NCR, and she is dedicated to rebuilding and forest restoration. Apart from this, here we have our own Dr. Professor Purva Ranjan, Head of Management, DME Management School and Head IQAC. She is also the founder of Mentoring Cell, Entrepreneurship Cell and Skill Cell at DME. She is a certified POSH trainer and Google certified digital marketer. Apart from this, we have Dr. Shad Ahmed Khan. He is an assistant professor and program chair of business administration at College of Business, University of Brahmi, Oman. With over 13 years of teaching experience, he specializes in green practices, online business management, individual loyalty, and higher education institutions. He is a prolific researcher. He has 50 plus Scopus Index publications and serves in editorial roles, consultancy projects, and academic conferences globally. And lastly, we have Dr. Devraj. He is an assistant professor and chair of quality assurance and accreditation at the College of Business, University of Brahmi, Oman. With 15 years of academic experience, his research focuses on international business, e-commerce, corporate governance, CSR, and financial reporting. And he has published 14 research articles and contributed to various major projects in India as well. Now, this discussion, everyone, will going to be getting moderated by Ms. Shanu Jain, Assistant Professor of DME Management School. Now, can I have all the panelists on the stage?
So very good morning to everyone present here. It's my great pleasure to welcome you all to today's panel discussion on a very critical topic, that is ecopreneurship, how sustainability drives business success. It is rightly said that the future of business is sustainability. It's no longer a fad or a trend, but a necessity of the pressing times. So we are honored to have a panel, distinguished panel of experts. Ms. Prerna will be joining us soon. So all of them are leading the sustainability entrepreneurship in their own way. So without much ado, I would like to begin with these deliberations. I request all my dear audience to be receptive to these conversations, and we will be open to the question answers post the end of the session. So to begin with, Sir, ma'am, my general question to you all would be, that how do you define ecopreneurship and why is it important in today's business landscape? Weber sir, if you have your opinion.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Vaibhav from Prakriti Cultivating Green. We manufacture disposable items, disposable tableware and dinnerware items from fallen leaves. So coming back to the point, who are ecopreneurs? So as you all know, ecopreneurs are anyone who serve for any goods or services which are uh, environment friendly. So for me, anyone can and everyone can be an ecopreneur, whether he or she can be in any field, any career, whether he or she can be a doctor, a scientist, a politician, even a soldier, or even entrepreneur. If you are dealing and if you are finding a problem first in your society, and then you are coming with a goods, a product which can solve that problem of the society, and additionally, obviously, if it is a sustainable product, then you are eco-friendly. So now time is changing very fast. So if you see 10 to 20 years before down the line, like these issues, like environment issues, or you were not able to see from your open eyes. It was limited to some particular area, some particular countries. Okay, but if you see right now, any problem if you talk about, it is directly or indirectly related to environment issues only. Whether you talk about climate change, whether you talk about floods, pandemics, or even inflation in any country. Okay, so everything is related to in today's day, everything is related to the environment issues only because we are not taking care of our environment. Okay, so if you are in any field, as I said earlier, so being a doctor also you can be an ecopreneur, but you have to think about your society, you have to think about your environment first. That obviously we are neglecting. So this should be taken care of that. And I also want to quote a line of late Dr. Abdul Kalam sir. He also said once that if you want to shine like a sun, you have to burn like a sun. So I guess we have to work on that, and we are finding alien planets. We are finding alien civilization, but we are not taking care of our nature. So we should take care of the nature first, and then, as many experts said earlier, also that the next third world will be happen because of the clean water. Okay, so it is very well said. And earlier, the necessities you can say it was when we talk about our grandparents, the necessities were food, shelter, and clothes. But now the necessities are uh, clean water, clean air, and healthy food. So time has changed a lot, and in the next 5 years, all the problems like the biggest problem are like climate change, uh, marine life is also affecting the pollution, the air quality index. So all these are the main problems on which we have to work. Uh, and if you talk like these days, many entrepreneurs are also coming with many innovative products which are very eco-friendly, which are very sustainable. So this is just a beginning, and we should protect our environment. And
Absolutely, sir. Thank you. Mr. Paz, I would like to share your views, sir.
See, he has already explained what entrepreneurship is. I myself call as environmental. So idea is that either you directly address environmental issues, so you are environmental, or whatever business you are doing or whatever thing you are involved in, and you adopt certain practices, the processes what you're following, it should be sustainable. So there are many examples around it which you can pick up. But the idea is that why it is important. If you look at initially when maybe 10 years back, 15 years back, environmental issues are like considered as something which can be solved by vitamins. Now it has become a disease. It has got a chronic disease in fact for the last 10 years. So it's a painkiller actually which is required to address the disease. So everywhere, whatever you go, you have to think about that your activities, your ideas, what you doing, are these sustainable or not? So that's why pressure from organization, governmental policies have to be framed in such a way that everything we do in our life address the environment first and then think about actually the business side of it. So that's what it is and why it is important.
Thank you, sir. So, Dr. Shah, being an academician, sir, how do you see ecopreneurship in theory as well as in practice?
Good morning, one and all present here. It's really a privilege for me to be speaking here today. When you talk about the environmental issue that we have right now, there's a word called sustainability that we often talk about. Now, the issue is that when we talk about sustainability is one of the words which has been heavily exploited. Because when we talk about sustainability, we are not really sure that which sustainability we are actually referring to. So we often say business sustainability, whether the business is going to sustain for a longer duration or not. We talk about the financial sustainability. We talk about the social sustainability. But we forget that mother of all sustainability is the sustainability of planet Earth. So that is the reason we really have to think about that. When we talk about sustainability, we really have to create a new category of sustainability, that is the planetary sustainability. Now, as Professor was mentioning before, Dr. Arvind, that we have to take lessons from the failed entrepreneurs. And being a failed entrepreneur myself, I believe that there are a lot of issues that the entrepreneurs have to do. It's not only the eco-entrepreneurship that is going to come, because we need to understand that why sustainability and the planetary sustainability is an issue. Because we have a population to sustain. If we suddenly switch, for example, Sri Lanka, it overnight thought that why not we switch everything to organic, and it was a disaster. Whereas in India, second they decided that we should switch to the organic fertilizers only. It was a success. The reason was that there were other states to support. There was Punjab, which were highly unsustainable farming practices were happening. They were able to sustain. The thing is that we need to understand that planet Earth, any disaster can happen overnight. But anything which is going to be constructive, it takes time. So the eco-entrepreneurship or the environment-entrepreneurship or whatever kind of entrepreneurship we talk about, there has to be a system, ecosystem which needs to develop. There has to be the social entrepreneurship which has to come forward. There has to be the tech entrepreneurs who have to come forward. There should be edupreneurs who have to come forward. And they need to create an ecosystem where everybody can sustain together. So we need to think about the ways where we can minimize the waste, number one. So even if the practices are not sustainable, like recently, the definition of green products have been changed. So earlier the green product definition was something which had been produced through the organic material. Now the definition has been changed that even if it is unorganic, if it can sustain for a longer duration of time, we will assume that it is a green product, so that you don't have the opportunity to change it again. So now the new things are coming up. We need to somehow, the entrepreneurs that we need today is the adoptive entrepreneurs, that how we can adopt ourselves and we can take decisions as per the requirement of the environment right now. Planetary sustainability is an issue. We only have one planet. No matter how much we explore, we need to understand that we are only one planet we have, and we need to take care of this planet. But if we suddenly take decisions, we need to understand that there is a population system. So that is my take on this.
Thank you, Professor. So what we have is we have to take care of. So Dr. Devarajan, can you do so?
So all the men and all the entrepreneurs, they have shared their opinion and their experience base. How in this crowd, so today's the students are the futures of India. So how many of you want to be an entrepreneur? Can you raise your hand? Good. We have some numbers. Yes. So entrepreneurship is a passion and a profession. Is it entrepreneurship is a passion or a profession? Yeah. So it can be defined, it can be defined in different ways, and it can be taken in a different context as well. Some people they are 24/7, they consider they as like a professional. Some people they do it as a passion. So passion and profession both travel together. So the entrepreneurship is something like you cannot force the people to start anything. It has to come by own. So here, like what we have to, what is our role as an academician? I mean, we can, what level we can extend and what level we can motivate our students to think on these issues. So the sustainability and this entrepreneurship, which is, it has to go together. The sustainability which the what Dr. Shah was telling, just little, I'm extending on that. The three pillars of sustainability, which is people, planet, and profit. So you have to think about your society, you have to think about your people, you have to think about your profit. Of course, you cannot leave your profit. We are not doing business for charity, right? You have to sustain, and you cannot compromise with what the society requires, and you cannot compromise what environment requires. So we have to balance together. This is the talk of the town. Why I'm talking about you people are the futures? Because now you have to take the decision whether you want to follow your dreams or you want to follow your others' dreams. So you have to think that like there are so many quotes like I remember there is a quote from our great entrepreneur Ratan Tata. So once he said, "I cannot take the right decision. I take the decision and make it everything as a right." So in this context, suddenly you cannot run. Sometimes you have to walk. Suddenly you cannot walk. Sometimes you have to crawl. I remember the quote of the Martin Luther King. If you can't fly, run. You can't run, then walk. Then you cannot walk, then crawl. But all this means keep moving, keep thinking about the all aspects. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We can do that. Ma'am, your thoughts on entrepreneurship?
Thank you, Ms. Shalu. So I think a lot of interesting ideas have already been there on the forum. And as a faculty of management, I come across a lot of business ideas and business plans every day. And we hear a lot of business pitches, so we often get Meniere's disease. You know what is Meniere's disease? It's like a non-stop ringing in your head, this much profit, this much margin. For 1% of the profit, I'm going to kill the market and I'm going to destroy the existing business. My idea is unique, better than the existing business. So all the investors, all the people who hear business pitches day in and day out, they have this constant ringing. It's called Meniere's disease. But all they want to hear is that I'm going to transform the landscape. You know. So when students come with the business ideas, with some fancy things that we are making related to fashion, related to lifestyle, all we want to hear is there any significant contribution you are making to this world? Whether your existence is going to change somebody's life or it is going to remove any kind of problem planet Earth is facing. And when we don't see that, none of the ideas are worth investing. Because all you are doing is fighting for that 1% of margin by trying to take over some existing business idea. So the simple solution and simple understanding is that you want to make money, you want to start business to make money, right? All of you sitting here, do you want to make money?
Yes.
Yes. By doing job or by giving job? By giving job. But how many of you want to make meaning? Meaningful earning is what is sustainability. Whether you are working as an employee, whether you are creating a business, The idea is that if you want to make money, make meaning. And when you make meaning, money will automatically come to you. Money will chase you. Okay? So whenever you make some business plan or want to go for any competition, think of the significant contribution you're making. Number one, to your planet. Number two, to your society. Three, to the people around you. Is there any critical problem that your business is solving? Whether it is the product itself, whether it is the packaging, whether it is the process, whether it is the technology, pick up anything that interests you. If you're from engineering, pick up the process and technology. If you're from marketing, pick up the packaging aspects and the product features, but make it sustainable. Alright? Any of this thing that you understand and you master and you pick up, you will always make money. As a consumer, as a customer, be very conscious of what you are wearing, what you are carrying. Make those conscious choices, because obviously anything sustainable is likely to be a little more pricey. We understand, because the process is a little difficult. Anything that is less in cost is obviously mass produced, and it is going to somewhere harm the environment. So pick your products from your market very, in a very alert manner. What you're wearing, what you're gifting, what you are buying from the market, the food items, in what plates you are eating, how much chemical is used in the processing of those food. So everywhere, as a layman also, as a student also, you can bring sustainability in your day-to-day life. And in your home also, basic things that we are using at home like RO and washing machine, where there is a lot of water being wasted. Can you think of simple Indian jugaad solutions to reuse and multiple use the same water? So sustainability is a mindset, and if you develop the mindset, if you are an employee, you will still be a sustainability-oriented employee, and if you start your business, it will be a sustainable business. So develop the mindset in whatever you do to make it more and more sustainable. That's from as a teacher that I can advise. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So I welcome Ms. Prerna Prasad to the discussion, and I would like you to share your views on eco-entrepreneurship, ma'am. You being an entrepreneur yourself. So how do you define eco-entrepreneurship, and why is it relevant in today's business landscape?
Good morning, everybody. I agree with the views of the past speaker that entrepreneurship in future and present has to be sustainable. So sustainability right now is not an option, not a choice, it's a necessity. You cannot choose to be not sustainable, and we know the reasons for that. So if you're thinking to open your own startup, or you're thinking to make a company, whether it is a product on sustainability or a service on sustainability, whether it's a regular, any domain you choose, you have to include the sustainable measures in that. And it depends on what product you're generating or what service you're creating. Try to add as much sustainable measures in that, and keep into mind how you can reduce the carbon emission. So I hope everybody understands carbon emission is basically the amount of pollution which is generated while creating a product or while delivering a service. So just keep into mind that will I be able to reduce carbon emission if I choose this particular method. So adopting the right methods which helps in reducing the pollution and carbon emission is, I believe, the need of the hour for creating any entrepreneurship or creating any startup in the present scenario. Thank you.
So it's all about the mindset. Next, I request Bharat sir to share his views, because sir, you have been stalwart in creating sustainable waste management solutions. And this problem, as we all agree to, that it is real and all pervasive across the globe. But a lot of times we find that sustainability comes in the garb of greenwashing. So I would like you to share your views that how can we ensure, you being an entrepreneur and being the larger part of the society, that it's not merely a greenwashing, but making a real impact.
Hello. Say, give you example, we are into a business of waste management. So directly addressing environmental issues, waste management, and a lot of other things which address environmental problems. I'll give an example here of a project. We can collaborate on the greenwashing and actually the true impact happening or not. Project where this waste management had to start at a city level. Now, what happens when we started? The bureaucracy there was very effective. The young bureaucrats were there, and they actually were directed to do this initiative very strictly in a disciplined fashion from the quality also, from the administrator and from the director. So the whole government was involved in that, and they deputed the bureaucrats in such a way that they were young, disciplined, and they were themselves passionate about sustainability, and they had to do something good for their city. So what happened in that strike is that they created a lot of measures. By even they were going to an extent to residents also and penalizing them if they are not segregating the waste. They're going to shops randomly and surprisingly and penalizing the shopkeeper if he is actually using this banned polythene and plastic bags. So what happened during the course of maybe like 6 months, we saw that and we were providing a waste management services in the whole union territory. And during the course of 6 months, everything was fantastically aligned. There were no plastic bags. It was completely banned. And if you actually go and buy vegetables from a vegetable vendor or even your eggs and breads in the morning, they will give you in covered in the newspaper. They will simply say we don't have. So what they did actually, they randomly checked and penalized them. Everybody, removed the stuff from their stocks. And similarly, residents started segregating waste also. So in 6 months of time, we were getting waste in our trucks and vehicles in our waste management facility, almost like 90% segregated. So how it happened? It happened because of creating those measures and accountabilities at various levels of that specific initiative. And that's how we would actually achieve it. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. If you do not create accountability by all the stakeholders at all the stages, whatever initiative you take, it will fail. So it is also a responsibility of citizens. Citizens will never obey unless and until they are very conscious. They will only listen to the accountability in a sense that they will be penalized if they don't do it. And by the time, over the course of time, they actually becomes a habit for them. In India, there's no habit of driving properly on the roads because we know that we can get away by driving or whatever. But when you go to US, he was putting US example or anywhere now in India, you know that you have to give penalty if you do anything wrong. So it's there in the mindset, it's there in the young generation, and that's how they are grown up, they are conditioned in that fashion that it has now become a norm in the society. So in order to have it become a norm of the society, it has to be conditioned from the school level, from college level, from the governance level. So every place we have to focus to get success in bringing sustainability and environmental consciousness into the society.
Thank you. Dr. Shah, so we do have a blend of practitioners and theorists. So Professor, you being an accomplished researcher, so what gaps do you find in current research on sustainability-driven entrepreneurship that needs further exploration? So a lot of budding researchers are there, so what would be your word of advice to them?
Thank you for this question. I will answer this question in two parts. Number one will be the kind of research and the kind of research the academic world has pushed on the general population. Number one. And number two, the kind of research that has been covered as a body of knowledge. Number one, over a period of time, the academic fraternity has made the term research very complicated. That now the general masses, they find themselves distant from research. They feel that research is something which is a highly scientific method and it is only a certain class of society which can perform research. They don't look into that everything, every experience that they gather in their life on a day-to-day basis, everything is research. For example, you want to find out that which products are sold mostly in the market. Just observe sit in front of one shop, observe which product is getting sold, you will get the idea that which product is having more demand, which one is not having demand. Now, what has happened is that the academic fraternity, what we have done is that number one, we have distanced the research from the general masses. Whatever public papers are published, it is published in high-rank journals which are having hell amount of money, that it never reaches to the prospective audience. So the prospective audience, for example, the agricultural-based researchers, it is read by agriculture faculty members. It is never read by the farmers. So it never reaches to the actual practitioners. Similarly, the entrepreneurship-based researchers, it never reaches to the prospective entrepreneurs. How many startups do we know they have the subscription of these high-ranking journals? For example, 2 or 3 of the ecopreneurs are sitting next to me. How many journals do they subscribe? Or do they have the subscription of Elsevier? Do they have subscription of Fate? Do they have subscription of Emerald? Do they have Scopus subscription? So the answer is that we have made this research is so complicated that it has distanced itself from the actual practitioner. Number two, what has happened is that the research as a body of knowledge, it is not covering the failed stories which the Professor Arun Kumar was mentioning. It only talks about the success. So the failed stories are not covered. Then some of the doable researches which I was mentioning yesterday in my session, like for example content marketing. It is a live research where you come online, you use your Instagram profile and you are asking the prospective audience that what do you want? Now, when instead of creating a push, you are creating a pull from this that we propose in the market. So somewhere the thing is that we as a academic we need to push that what is doable on the part of entrepreneurs. We need to really simplify that researches can be observation method, it can be the experience method, it can be the likes, comment, subscribe on the social media. It can be anything which is able to get them any information which is meaningful for their life. So the research as a term is a classification.
Absolutely. So this reminds me of a quote by Einstein. Yeah, yes, sir. Please.
Now this whole that we produce on the colleges. Our management is based on after 12. We spend a lot of time in graduation, post-graduation, without knowing actually what to do. Idea stage, maybe class 10. Today, IT, lies and computer start only in the class 10, 8 to 9. So, all other things, children really exposed.
So seeds have to be sown at a very early stage so that
Interaction of college and businesses, that's not happening in India. Happening, but very small level, especially to only 8% of the time. So a lot of things are happening in the college.
it has to be. So we keep talking about AI. Yes.
Connecting to this, because we are from Oman. Yesterday in the conference, I was highlighting on this, like entrepreneurship is mandatory, or we can say it's sometimes it is coming voluntarily, or sometimes you have to study. So in this, in this crowd, we have a different major, right? So journalism, law, business administration.
Largely management students. All management students.
Okay. So is this entrepreneurship is essential for whom? This subject, entrepreneurship, is essential for whom? Because since almost more than 30 minutes, many things we are talking about many things. But I need to answer from the crowd that to whom this entrepreneurship is important. Of course, this is for the society, right? Ultimately, this is for the society. So as a student, as an academician, so we have to understand the essentiality and the importance of entrepreneurship as a academician. And as a student, you should not feel that entrepreneurship is only for the business students. So it is an interdisciplinary concept. Now it is open, as Sir said. So now this should be inside the curriculum from the beginning, irrespective of the program, irrespective of the different kinds of the program, you have to make this as a part of curriculum. So voluntarily, of course, if without studies, some people will become entrepreneurs, and with including in a curriculum that so people will come to know about many things about the passion of entrepreneurship. So this is what we can say that in the Oman level, so this is government is mandatory, and in the university level, we are offering these courses in all the level, and even for each and every program, even medicine and engineering and nursing, pharmacy, not only business, in every disciplines, this is inside the curriculum. So my suggestion to the organizers, we are here. So what is the output of after this conference? We have to recommend to the university, we have to recommend to the government to include entrepreneurship course not only for the business or commerce students, it should include in all curriculums across the universities. Even as he said, I mean, as sir said, we should start from high school or the PU level. Thank you.
So we already have, so with NEP in place, some changes are already there in place. So I think it's a long way to go, and the future is definitely bright for us. So Mr. Weber, my next question to you would be like, as to deliberate upon the academic and industry collaboration. So your venture, that is Prakriti AV, is also a duo by you and your co-founder, and you've come a long way. We've seen that. So how do you define the role and the importance of collaboration in scaling a sustainable business?
I want to add one more thing, like as was also asking, and one guy was he said eco-owners like it's a passion, and even Penna also said like we don't have any choice. So I want to say like eco-ownership is also a duty, right? Because we don't have a choice. And as I said earlier also, like in my first speech, that even you are a doctor or anyone, but you should follow sustainable life and sustainable product. Okay. When you follow that, you can teach others also to follow that. Now, coming back to that question which ma'am asked. So, as I said earlier, my venture name is Prakriti Cultivating Green, and we manufacture eco-friendly disposable items, and we make from a fallen leaf. So we don't cut and lug any kind of things or anything. And we make, and these plates are like, our plates are 100% sustainable, and it is non-toxic. We don't use any glue or any bonding agent in that, and of course they are microwave user, and it looks very elegant. It looks like rodent. Okay. So all these started with a business plan when I was in my MBA days, and we made a business plan of this, which venture right now I'm doing. So I got many recommendations and many prizes from various institutes like IIT Bombay, IIT Kanpur. And at last, I also got awarded by Prince Charles, that now he is the king of this. He awarded me in Government House Punjab in 2010. So after that, we completed the MBA, and we started working on our venture that time. And me and my friend, we are two persons. Okay, so like he also got placed. He went to Dubai, then he went to South Africa. Then like I was also placed here in India. After 6 months, he left his job and he returned to India to work on our venture. Then here we started working on that time of the time was very different. If you talk about it, 2011, so there was no support from government, and like people were using thermocol products and plastic products, and only a niche. There was a very niche segment who liked our product because the prices were very high, and people were comparing. Always they used to compare it with plastic and thermocol products. Then we thought to focus on international market, and we worked for 2 years. That time, getting leads, especially export leads, was also one of the challenge, especially from India. currently we have WhatsApp. Even that time there was not WhatsApp. Okay, and we got some queries and some leads from B2B sites like IndiaMart and Alibaba, like that. And in 2014, we got one order from Germany. And then we also certified our product as per the REACH regulation, which are prescribed by European Union. Because in that time also Europe was very serious. Even Singapore was also working on water. Okay, so those places like they accepted our product. But in India there was still a challenge. Then there come a paradigm shift when in 2017, I guess, government banned single-use plastic here, and in many states like Maharashtra, Delhi, UP, etc. And then like our product comes in like food packaging industry. So after that, after the ban, like now there are two categories right now. One is eco-friendly segment and another is non-eco-friendly segment. And people are also understood like the importance of not using single-use plastics. Even now in primary schools also like student they used to taught like don't use plastics like it creates many problems, many diseases like cancer and so. But that time it was not there. Then in India also like then the pandemic came, it was also like advantageous for us because the use of disposables, hygiene, lifestyle, like people understood that is very important. And currently we are exporting to 20 to 25 countries right now. We are also on e-commerce sites and we also have corporate clients. Yeah, and one more thing I want to tell you, like right now India is not a trend settler. They are all like now India has become a trend maker also. I want to give you one very good example of quick commerce. I don't know anyone of you knows that in India there is a quick commerce facilities like Zepto is there, Liquid is there. Okay, but this is not available even in Europe right now, not in US also. And this facility is only available in India where you can get for anything and everything within 15 minutes at your doorstep.
Thank you. Thank you. So collaboration is a must. My next question would be to you, Dr. Ranjan. So, ma'am, as an academician, how do you see the role? The conversation just sparked that what's the way ahead of higher education and universities in building the entrepreneurship ecosystem in the coming decade?
So, as teachers, we have to groom students to be managers and to listen to others, especially in management education. But we never tell them that what happens when you don't listen, So that spark, when a child is born, they are born with a lot of creativity. But through the systematic education process, we subdue that creativity by telling them that this is not possible, that is not possible. So entrepreneurship is one such subject that should never be taught from syllabus and books because it's not something to be taught actually. The only thing that we should do is in helping them to build prototypes, to understand ideation, to understand various methods by which they can come out with solutions of the most common day occurring problems. So that is how entrepreneurship should be taught. The sad reality is that the ecosystem to teach entrepreneurship doesn't exist. There are very, very few people who are actually trained to train people in this particular mindset. Because the typical process is write a business plan, do market research. By then, the whole phase of implementation of the idea is actually gone. Whereas in real life, all the three entrepreneurs are sitting. How much actually 100-page business plan they have made, I don't know. Did you make a 100-page business plan? A small, yes, good enough for you to put your idea on paper and meet people. So what happens in syllabus that we actually make students to write thesis on their business idea, and by the time they are done with the thesis, they are running to investors. But in reality, they should write 4-5 page document to bring their own thoughts onto paper with some clarity, and whatever little money that they have, they can get it from parents or friends can pool it to begin with a small idea and scale it up as it, it becomes profitable or it becomes accepted in the market. Right now, the problem is that we are teaching our students to, go for those sharp times and all those things, which actually eat away your business. So don't be mesmerized by what you see on TV. In the real life, these things don't work this way. So if you have an idea, straight away go ahead and start and pilot test it. That's what any entrepreneur will also advise. Don't wait. Don't do a PhD on it. Okay. Thank you.
Parents here, I guess, children who get middle class, we are conditioned, actually we are brought up in a sense that you have to do a job. But if we are brought up in a fashion that you have to do what you want from the early age of your life, there is no fear of failure, there is no fear instilled by the parents in the children. Don't do this by this age, you do not marry, you have to do this, you have to do that. That is actually avoided in the families from the early age. So we see now in this generation, I think the generation will be more experimental. They will not have a fear of failure. And they will try a lot of things from the early age rather than investing their time and doing this studies and paper. That has to change. And I think the real goal of colleges also will come. First, it has to change from the family.
Parents being our first teachers. So next question would be to you, Ms. Prema. So as we were talking previously that profits are also important and you are one of the trailblazers of sustainable tourism and your mud house venture, that's one Bhoj in Delhi, it's a great idea. So how important do you find branding and storytelling while marketing a sustainable business because it comes at a cost?
So I think a lot of you have heard the word storytelling. It's a trending buzzword. Everything you talk about, you have to tell it like a story. So I'll share the story of what I do. So I started EcoPlore in 2016, and EcoPlore is one of India's first and largest sustainable tourism company. We have more than 1,300 eco-friendly hotels across India. And all these hotels are made out of local architecture. So these hotels are made of mud, wood, bamboo, stone, or any other local architecture. And they have a minimum of at least 30% trees inside their campus. Because when you talk about sustainability, trees are a very important element of that. And any hotel which meets these two criteria of local building and 30% trees, there are a lot of other measures like rainwater harvesting, solar panel, composting, and many others. And from the customer perspective, if a person is living in a metro city or wants to go for a holiday and escape in nature, they just book these hotels and they don't need to think about anything. They don't need to go for sightseeing. There are properties which we have which are as large as 100 acres and 200 acres, and they have even waterfalls and rivers passing through their property inside the campus. So that's about EcoPlore. Then we started One Bhoj, which is our mud house in Surajkund in Faridabad, the place where the Surajkund craft mela happens. And this house was built by architect Revti and Vasant Kamath, who are pioneers in sustainable and mud architecture. So today we are discussing about eco-entrepreneurship, but these architects, Revti and Vasant Kamath, they started working on sustainable lifestyle and sustainable buildings almost 40 years back. And they made this house where 80% of the construction material is taken from the campus. So as local as that, we talk about local for local. I think a building whose material is taken from the campus, it's the most local way to work. So it is made out of mud and of Padarpur stone, which is taken from the campus. And we don't have any connection to the municipal corporation. So the waste from our kitchen and the washroom is treated in-house using natural anaerobic bacteria, which treats the waste and makes it a compost, and the water is released into the forest for irrigation. Can you imagine we drink water from the tap within NCR? So the water we drink at our mud house in Vanpoj is directly from the ground. We don't need to use any RO, and that water is completely mineral rich. We do waste management by dividing the waste in at least to 12 to 13 different segments. So even we divide smaller leaves, bigger leaves, twigs, food waste, cardboard, metal, glass. We actually segregate in 11 to 12 different types so that it can be composted or it can be recycled accordingly. Similarly, there are a lot of other things. We have rainwater harvesting in the campus. And from the customer perspective, now this is from sustainability. From the customer perspective, if you come there, you'll be very amazed to find that such a place actually exists in NCR. We have hornbills, we have woodpeckers, parrots, peacocks, porcupines, mongoose, nilgai, they all live in our campus. And it's not a zoo, these are wild animals which are living there. So I would invite everybody to just come to Vanpoj whenever you are available. It's for day visit only. It's India's one of the first private sustainability museum in India. When we talk about museum, it is all in boxes and you go to these places and you read, you have to read and see the thing. But here it is all experiential. The stuff is like very well collected and everything is natural, but it's experiential museum. So I think that's what storytelling is about for a brand.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, my question to you. So, all of these audience, they are the students or academics which are sitting, and soon they will be transitioning either into theory as researchers or practitioners being the entrepreneurs. So, what would be your word of advice as they transition their journey from theory to practice?
So my straight one question to the students, what is the right time to start your entrepreneurship? As an entrepreneur, when you want to be an entrepreneur? After your degree or during the degree or early age? So what is the right time? What is the right time to enter to this field? See, there is no, you can say that, every time is the right time. So we don't know this path when it's going to start. We don't know when this motivation will come. So different kinds of motivation, you will get it from your home, you will get it from your friends, you will get some motivation from your teacher, and you will get some motivation from this kind of the real heroes of our market. So the motivation comes in differently. So you cannot wait until the right time and take the decision, make your like-minded team, share with your teachers, discuss with your parents, and straight away you can go ahead with your initiative. And one more thing which is very important, that even in our university as an academician, what we are doing is in the University of Oman, so the institution level we have reserved some funds for this kind of activities. So, and our Miss Sarah is here, and she is the in charge for the coordinator, and she is the coordinator for the cell. And under this coordination, we organize a competition, and throughout the competition, we are choosing the best ideas, and best ideas will just converting into plan, and we are funding to them to initiate their business activities. So, like we as an academician, we have a very big role. Like sometimes you have to make it mandatory to curriculum, or sometimes it may be a voluntary. But ultimately, we know watering to the plant is very important. So as a teacher, as an academician, so we have to identify this kind of ideas. We have to identify this kind of, curiosity. So spark may come anywhere. So we have to, this is a big role as an academician. So we have to identify and we have to encourage them to be an entrepreneur for the future.
Thank you, Professor. So maybe this discussion can be as up to many. So can we accommodate a few questions from the audience?
This is what I expect. The reason is the ultimate objective is not only to share our knowledge, not only to share our stories. As a students, you have so many ideas, you have so many questions, which is maybe you never asked, or maybe you have some doubts. So this is the right platform. We have a real heroes of market. So they have a live experiences. So we know we are teaching, I mean, theories of entrepreneurship. So this is the right time. So we encourage this one.
Okay, yes, dear audience, please everybody sit straight. So I hope you all were receptive to the discussion and you must have enjoyed that. So I would welcome few of you who have any questions in mind. The volunteer, you may please raise your hand and the student team will give. Okay, so we have a question from the audience. If somebody could pass on to us.
First of all, a very warm good morning to you, ma'am, and all the panelists. My name is Aditya Menon, and also a very big thank you to the panelists for sharing their views and knowledge with all of us. It was really a very beneficial and informative session for all of us. The question that I would like to put forward is that very soon, within the next 3 or 4 years, all of us are going to be somehow related to the concept of ecopreneurship. And during those times, I feel even the concept of sustainability is going to be of an even higher importance. So, if any of the panelists could just shed some light over the potential problems that we could encounter and what exactly should our approach be towards tackling them?
Explain, ma'am. So,
you said like some potential problems on which we can work towards ecopreneurship. I think one thing which comes into mind is India is one of the world's largest consumer market. And everything you see on social media, Instagram, quick commerce, e-commerce, everything is about buying, how much you can buy, how many varieties of clothes you can buy, how many things. There is no end to buying. Can you think of a way that you reduce the consumerism? Because when you talk about sustainability, it is about reducing consumerism, it is about a minimalistic lifestyle, it is about reuse and recycle. It is not about just buying or keep on buying new things and buying things which are not even required. So if we go to if we go at least even 30 years back when our grandparents, if we see their lifestyle, our grandparents' lifestyle, they used to reuse everything. Like that was there by default in their lifestyle. Today, like we use so many tissue papers unnecessary. We use these plastic bottles unnecessary. We can use normal glass bottles or refillable bottles. So yeah, I like this is a challenge from my side to you all. If you can think of a way that you can reduce consumerism more, that is the best way to work on sustainability.
Thank you.
So that's the paradox, sustainability and consumerism. Anybody else? Anybody? Okay, we can have a question from you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for sharing such great insights. I wanted to ask if there are any specific industries where ecopreneurship has the highest growth potential.
Paris, because you work at multiple
If you look around, in every walk of life, there is a scope of replacement. Whatever you're doing right now, whatever you're consuming, everything has to be replaced with sustainable things. Any industry, I mean, most of the industry now put a mandate. Earlier, the sustainability and environmental problems and solutions were prerogative of governments. Now they've actually put a mandate on industries, and every industry, whatever they're producing, they have to replace their raw materials with the sustainable components. So you look around, you think loud, you observe things. This M was apple and apple slow. And also the earlier question, nobody will tell you that you handle this problem as an entrepreneur. It's your instinct. You observe keenly around you that what is the problem you can solve, right? And then look for different kind of solutions for it. So sustainability has to be there in every walk of life. It was actually started many years back. Now we have come to a point that people are now conscious, governments are conscious, society is conscious, and the more and more we are conditioned to actually start looking for things which are sustainable, the more demand we will create, and henceforth the industries will bound to produce those things. So that's how the economy will work. Even if whatever we keep talking about sustainability, unless and until there's a demand, there must be a production. So we have to start getting conscious about consuming sustainable items. That's how you see it. So if you see in India, there is still we are lagging a lot in terms of any sustainable items. There's a talk, ऊपर से दिखता है, but actual में there's no too much concrete things yet. It has to be driven a lot yet in order to see that kind of impact at such a large level. Yes, sir.
Couple of two more questions only, and this side. Anybody? Share. The mic.
Good morning to all of you. My question is, in today's times, it's very difficult to find out the idea from being an engineer. Like there is almost no startup and available for the idea to think about, and it's really hard to find. So it's a pretty request to you. Please experience how we can do it in a better way.
Dr. Shah.
Thanks so much. I believe yesterday most of you were not there in the session which I was taking at the college. I'll just tell you one simple story of one of the influencers that I know. And she was working in the pharmacy business. When she was working as a pharmacist at the pharmacy, she was employed there. And then one fine day she lost her job because of the regulation changes in the country. And then she wanted to move into a startup. So she was very active on social media. And so she came on social media and she asked the people that I am going to switch my career now and I'm thinking of a startup. Which career do you think I should go for? And then highest course will be counted. So then the video went viral and there were a lot of and people, some of them were showing sympathy and some of them were showing something else. So what happened was that there were a kind of voting which was done and suddenly the highest score for a restaurant. So she was from Karachi, so they said that why don't you start a Karachi biryani in Oman? Now what happened was that she took this idea and she said that okay, I'm going to start this restaurant. This is what is your idea about it? Now again there was a kind of a poll and everybody started favoring it. Now, at every step, she was taking the opinion of the masses. So she wanted to select a location. She asked, which location do you think I should open? Again, there were responses. Now she wanted a shop. I said she's not unable to open. She was unable to find a shop. Again, there were responses. She opened a shop. She wanted a design. She said, which design I should go for? Again, there were responses. So at every step, what happened was that there were people emotionally attached with her. She was getting cues directly from the market. Less amount of efforts were done because what happens is that we conceive the idea and then we try to push the idea to the masses. Now we need to understand that who are our customers. Our family and friends are not our customers. Customers are the people from whom we can charge money. We do not charge money from our family and friends. So ultimately, this money is going to come from the people who are the masses and going to consume the things. And it almost becomes like a TV show. Every day, people were getting into her profile and checking what next happened to her. Yesterday, she was stuck with the software, whether she got a technician today to resolve the issue or not. So what happened was that the customers were associated with it. 4 days before, I saw one of the posts where she said that today my mother has given me a challenge that if you can sell 350 plates of biryani, she is going to bring. Do you think I will be able to sell this much? And that day she sold 450. So these are the things which we get from the ideation level. Now, the latest technologies that come in, the users have to use the technology. And this technology is free. And this is where the power of social media comes in. The thing is that we don't pay any money to social media. Because social media treats us as not the customer, but we are the products of social media. So why not we harness the social media for our own thing? And this is where the market research also comes into the picture, which I was referring before. That market research is getting cues from the market that which product is going to get sold out. So ideation, even if you are not sure, you can use these benefits, you can go for this kind of methods, and you can check whether this is going to happen or not. Else, if you have an idea, my open invitation to all of you, we have an excellent simulation lab which is ready, where anyone across the world can come in and you can test your idea and you can simulate it. So we'll be very happy to assist. Ms. Sara is here, will be able to assist. Thank you so much.
One more case related to your question. So there was a professor since around 18 years. He was working for one university in Oman, and he was like passionate about cooking. And what he was doing once in a week, he used to cook and he used to share the food with the friends. So what happened after some days? So everyone they were encouraging him, and they told him, okay, let's cook and share with us and foreign charges. So it went on for some days. Then after that, like everyone encouraged him, why don't you to start a new business, a restaurant business, which is your that is your passion because he's a very good cook. He was preparing a very delicious food. And what he did is he quit his professorship position and he started a restaurant. And after that, so he started a restaurant and he started his business. What is the reason? And when he started near to the place where it is only, I mean, some less crowded place. Means you have an idea, you are a very good things in many things, but your location matters. Your ideas are matters. On how you are going to execute that is matters, right? So different factors will, I mean, matters on these things. So ultimately, because you cannot take, before testing, before initiation, you cannot test everything. But some extent we can do. We have to do. You have to test. You have to see the customer orientation. You have to see the market requirement. So some extent we have to trust on all those things.
Thank you, Professor. So I'm sure there must be many questions you all must be having in mind, but due to paucity of time, we won't be able to take them on this platform. But definitely, if you have any queries, if you find any kind of mentoring, you could approach to them. You can drop in your questions to us, we'll back to them, or we'll share their email IDs for you all to connect with them. So, as we wrap up today's insightful discussion, I express my sincere gratitude to all the panelists and this August gathering for being a wonderful part of this conversation. So as Ms. Prerna, she highlighted that sustainability is no more a choice, but the pressing need of today. Vaibhav sir highlighted the importance of collaborations and having a strong network to scale your sustainable business. Paras made a very pertinent point about bringing standardization and methods into practice so that the Rome was not built in a day. So preparations have to start today. Dr. Shah made a very, very important point for being a researcher myself also, that research has to be simplified, has to be available to the masses, and that's where the relevance of the research would be. Dr. Devarajan very importantly highlighted that how we can adopt the best practices across the globe and implement them and have a strong academia and industry integration, the AI of the day. And Dr. Ranjan wonderfully expressed that entrepreneurship cannot be limited to textbooks. It has to go beyond and it has to be simple to be successful. So with these thoughts, I thank once again all of you for being here with us, and I request the audience to take the ideas and inspiration from today's discussion beyond this hall, and let's do a bit of our part in building a sustainable future. So with this, we come to the conclusion of this panel discussion. So big, huge round of applause for all.
Yeah. So this discussion was indeed a thought-provoking discussion. A heartfelt thanks to all the panelists and to Ms. Shanu Jain for expertly steering the session. Now, may I request Dr. Purva Ranjan to felicitate our esteemed panelists. Big round of applause, please. Ms. Prerna Prasad. Dr. Shad Ahmed Khan. Dr. Devraj. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, everyone. Mr. Vaibhav Jaiswal has got beautiful gifts for our students from University of Burani, Oman. So may I now request Dr. Purva and Mr. Vaibhav to felicitate them. Please, the students, come on the stage. All the students from Oman. May I ask Dr. Shalini Gautam, conference convener and director, sir, to please come on the stage. Miss Shama, Miss Aisha, Miss Aisha, can we have Miss Hanu Ahmed? Miss Ali Chehra Kader, and Miss Saja Ali. Now Miss Sara, she is one of the esteemed faculty of University of Burani Oman. Can we have Miss Amira? She is the convener of the Business Incubation at University of Burani Oman. Thank you so much, everyone. Now to touch proceed to our session, we are going to have a cultural program which are presented by our talented students of TMA. क्या हो गया? मैम
Grazie.
गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणपूजिताय गुरुदैवताय गुरुवत्ताय
It's an end towards the session for the first session on the entrepreneurship. So before we proceed further for our valedictory session, let's take a short tea break. Before that, I would like to thank all the panelists, all the guests, and all the faculty members and students to be a part of such a session on an entrepreneurship. Thank you so much. All the students, please be seated in the auditorium.
Sorry.
Section D and Section E, please proceed to rule number 405 and 406. Section D is 405, Section E is 406. Dr. Ida ma'am will be giving your attendance over there. First year students, please go to your respective classroom. Section A in 410, Section B 411, Section C 412, and please get yourself attendance now with your respective mentors or the faculty in front, and then you may proceed for the day. Please do not move in walk slowly.